Hello everyone. Good recap by Kalpana, but I'm going to give a little bit of recap. As I mentioned last time, we will be covering this book. I'm not sure how fast or how slow I want to take this one. Let's see how it goes. So there are 49 chapters, and I covered a little bit of first chapter and second chapter. So first chapter is called as My Parents and Early Life. That's where we covered about his sisters and power of word. And the second chapter is My Mother's Death and My Mystic Amulet. I told about his mother's death, but I didn't cover the amulet part. I will cover that today. And the third one is a saint with the two bodies, where one is sitting right in front of Mukunda, who is Yogananda, previous name, and he goes and brings one of his dad's Mukunda's dad's friend to be there. So he goes into with another body, tells him and walks with him, outpaces him and comes back. So Mukunda sees a body, a saint with two bodies, basically. Today we'll be covering about Mukunda's interrupted flight towards Himalayas. That is the fourth chapter. If time is there, we will go with Perfume Saint. I will cover a little bit there, and then the sixth one is Tiger Swami. So this is what I thought of covering today. So when, as mentioned last time, his mother passes away, and Mukunda tries to run away from home to Himalayas. There is some hidden drive in him to go to Himalayas. He wants to go back to Himalayas, but his brother catches him before it, like maybe one station away from them. Bareilly, he goes to Bareilly and brings him back. So when he brings him back, he was there. Another thing he was going through. After 1 year, his brother calls Mukunda and says, "Mukunda, I cannot keep this any longer. Mother has a letter for you, and here is the box." And he gives the box to Mukunda, and Mukunda gets very surprised because he is still not happy that mom left so soon for him. So Mukunda takes it and starts reading the letter. Mom starts writing that Mukunda, I know you want to go to Himalayas and other things. Uh, we know about you from the childhood. You were very special for us. Where during childhood itself, you used to say, "I want to go to Himalayas" in your room while sleeping, and me and Ruma, his sister, were listening to you when you are saying those things. That's what she says. So when Mukunda was born, his mom took him as an infant to her guru, and we all know her guru is Lahiri Mahasaya. So he takes him there, but there are so many people, and Lahari Mahasaya is far away, and he can't see clearly where she is sitting. But she sits there and internally starts prayer, saying that, "Oh Guru, please bless my kid. Oh Guru, please bless my kid." That's what she was thinking about it. And Lahari Mahasaya was meditating that time, and when he opens his eyes, he immediately signals her to come over, and everybody gives path for her. She goes to him, and he picks up Mukunda and keeps him in his lap, and he says, "Yeah, young mother, you are blessed." Let me read it. Yeah, little mother, that's what he calls his mom. Little mother, thy son will be a yogi. As a spiritual engine, he will carry many souls to God's kingdom. That's what he tells her. And mom was overjoyed with that, and she is very happy. And she comes home. Then she narrates another story where they were living in Lahore, United Punjab during that time, United India. Lahore, they were there, and one saint comes to their doorstep. So the maid comes. As I mentioned, they are very well off because of the vice president of some railways and other stuff. So once maid comes to her and says, "There is a saint at the doorstep," and he insists that, "Allow me to see the mother of Mukunda." That is his request, and mom gets thrilled about it, like saint, how does he know about my son's name, and wants to see. So she goes, and as usual, we in India we give pranams to any saint who comes to our house. So she pranams and asks him to come in word, and then the saint says, I am sorry to give you bad news, you are not going to be alive very long. uh, God wants you to be leaving this earth in 2 to 3 years. Next illness will be fatal for you. That's what he says. That's why mom knows when she is leaving, and goes and premonitions Mukunda that come back to the Calcutta. That's we talked about it. So then he says, you are a custodian of a certain silver amulet. I am not going to give it to you today. It will come to you in your prayers, and you keep that amulet. Amulet is like, in this book they are giving some explanations. Astrally produced object, structurally very smooth object. It will come and go automatically. That's what they say. So this object will come to you, and you keep that. uh, when you passes away, you give it to this amulet to your elder one Ananta, and tell him that give this story and amulet to Mukunda after 1 year of your death. So that's what he tells, and he goes away. He doesn't ask any money or anything like that. So next day, mom was praying. As we talked about, mom is very devotional. So she was praying with the folded hands, and something materializes in between her hands, and opens it. It's a silver amulet, was materialized, and very smooth. So she keeps it as a very sacred object in the prayer room, and Mukunda never know about it. So now it came to Mukunda, and another premonition is when the amulet disappears, that is when Mukunda is ready to go for Himalayas. That's what the saint told her mom. So Mukunda was happy to see that and happy to hear about it and other things. But she still longs to go to Himalayas, but don't know when he will go. Then here his dad sends him to Kevalana, Kevalananda, I think. So goes to Pranavananda. Goes to Pranavananda on his dad's request. Who is Pranavananda is a saint with the two bodies, who calls Kedarnath Babu. Nobody knows where he is, but this Swamiji is sitting there itself. He goes wherever the Kedarnath Babu is, and then tells him that, hey, Bhagavati Babu's son is waiting at my door house. Come over. That's how Kedarnath Babu comes, and they talk about it, and exchange a letter. And that's what happens with a saint with two bodies. The fourth chapter is my interrupted flight towards the Himalayas. This is the fun part, where he meticulously plans to go to Himalayas. So he tells his friend Amar that tomorrow, go to the class and come out in the middle. We will go. So he tells Amar about it. He stays home next day, and he packs a blanket, a pair of sandals, Lahiri Mahasaya's picture, and copy of Bhagavad Gita, a string of prayer beads, Japmala, and two lion cloths. Even lion cloths, he takes it, and he bundles everything and throws it from the window and goes down, collects it, meets Amar. On their way, they meet their cousin brother Jitendra. He calls him as Jatinda. Jitinda, but his name is Jotin Ghosh. So they meet him also. All three will start going, and they are wearing Western clothes, because see, his brother is a detective. He will find where he is going. So he wants to outbeat him. So they all wear Western clothes as if they are Western people, and they relinquish all leather. They rip off. He rips off the leather cover. I never know there is a leather cover for the Bhagavad Gita. So he removes it, and he removes the cap which he is carrying, which has a leather straps. Um, I'm surprised to say that he says leather straps from the my English made sola topi. Topi, we also call in Telugu topi, but he says sola topi, which is helmet. That's what the book says, helmet. I think the meanings are given by some Westerner, not by Yogananda, because I will tell you further. So topi they are calling as helmet. They start going and they want to purchase tickets to Burdwan. From Burdwan, they want to go to uh, Himalayas via transfer to Haridwar to Haridwar, which is the foothills of Himalayas. So all of them goes to the station, and in his excitement, Yogananda says, "We shall initiate by masters Manamanta. We are all will be initiated by masters, and we will become like grow metaphorically and literally, and all that stuff." And he says, all the wild animals like tigers will be like a cats awaiting for our caresses. All that stuff he says. So um, then they start off. Let's divide our money into three portions. So all whatever money they have, they divide into three portions, and they want to buy tickets separately. They don't want to feel like all three going together. They don't want to give that connection. Oh, before coming here, they gave off their leather shoes also to the coachman. That's also got done. Then Jitendra goes to buy the tickets. 15 minutes happen, nothing happens. He doesn't come. They run through the station, shouting, Jitendra, Jitendra, but he is nowhere to find. And that means he's gone. I think the tigers, mention of tigers scares him. So he runs away, basically. Then Yogananda starts crying. This is bad omen. Already, we didn't start the journey. Already he left and other stuff. Amar consoles him, saying, "This is what you have, your devotion to Mother Kali Goddess. No, no, no. We need to carry forward." That gives him some solace, and both of them starts purchase tickets and starts going. As soon as they reach one of the Bareilly via Haridwar, no? They reach Bareilly and Mughal Sarai. They need to change the trains. I, they see two officers walking toward them. Immediately, Mukunda says, "My brother is very clever. He might have done something. I don't want to say a lie, anything, all that stuff." Amar says, "Don't laugh, don't cry, just keep quiet. I will handle it." That's what Amar says. So the officer comes to them and says, "Hey, are you the guys who are running away from the home?" They says, "No." This one Mukunda gives very emphatically saying that no, because he's not going away because of anger or anything like that. So he's not lying there. So he emphatically says, and he checks Amar also. What is your names? And they says Thomas and Thompson. That's the names they give. And Thomas, he says, "I am a son of English mother and a converted Christian Indian father." That's what Amar tells him. So yeah. Then he asks, "Where is the third guy?" Amar cleverly says, "Officer, you are wearing glasses. I'm not a magician. I cannot create another guy. We are only two people." And officer gets, okay. Then officer feels guilty that half English people, kids are traveling in a third class, which is not reserved for Indians. So he takes him to the first class where English people go, and gets him into the that carriage. And as soon as the officer leaves, Mukunda have a heartful laugh that, and Amar also happy that he outwitted the Englishman. During that time, when he was waving the telegram, in the telegram, his brother sent a notice to all the stations saying that three kids are running away in English clothes towards Howrah via the stations they pointed as they were thinking about. Everything was there, and stop them until I come. Good amount will be given as a reward. That's what the telegram says. So Then Mukunda says, Amar, you left the timetables at home. My brother, see, he found out that which path we are going through, which route we are taking. So they outwit they go to next station, and there they see Dwaraka Prasad, another friend of their brother or father in Bareilly. But they somehow convince him, and they don't stay there. They leave that Bareilly and goes to all the way to their final station, which is Howrah, Haridwar. They reached Haridwar, and they thought of running away from there as soon as possible, because already telegrams are everywhere. So they think of that, but two officers come to them before they run away. They catch hold of them, and one of the officer, they walk him into the room, and one of the officers says, "You guys are so interested to run to Himalayas. Yesterday, what happened was, I will tell you a story." So both of them says, "Yeah, yeah, go ahead." So he and his brother officer both were patrolling Ganges, patrolling the Ganges, and there was a news that one dacoit or a murderer was going around in a Saint Goes, Guise, Guise, um, and masquerading as a sadhu. That's what is written, as a sadhu. So catch him either live or dead. That's the orders or instructions come to them. So they were when they are walking, they see a sadhu going, and who fits the description of everything. They ask him to stop, but sadhu doesn't stop. He still going. So these two police officers will run behind him, and this officer hurls his axe very with a lot of force, and one of his right arm or left arm, something, is completely dislocated, and blood was coming out. And but Sadhu doesn't flinch, doesn't move. He just keeps walking, and these guys walk towards him, and then find out that he injured a religious person. Sadhu himself, he feels very sad, and he falls on his feet and says, "I am very sorry. Can I give my turban to tie your arm?" He says, "No, mother will take care of it. Don't worry." And he just pushed his hand back, and it sits in its place, and blood coming immediately stopped, and they were amazed. And he immediately tells them that, "I am not the murderer you are looking for." So they didn't tell anything, but he tells, "I am not the murderer. You run away. I will be all right. If you want to, come 3 days later, and I will be completely healed by that time." That's what he says. So 3 days later, they went to him, and he was completely healed. He blesses them, and he goes away to Himalayas. That's what the officer says. So Amar and Mukunda says, "Wow, we missed meeting such a saint. We want to see the saints." That the Himalayas is basically his drive is to meet the saints, meet the gurus, all those people. So they missed it, and they thought of running away. But Amar now chickens out. He says, "No, we cannot go." And when Mukunda asked, "If we go, I don't know about." Let me tell you. If we started a trek over such a dangerous jungle land, we should finish not in the city of saints, but in the stomachs of tigers. That's what Amar says. If we go now, because there is no money, they already snatched away the money. They put them in a waiting place for his brother, Mukunda's brother, to come. So he says, "I don't want to continue now." So they stay for 3 days, and then his brother comes, takes him to some other place. On his way, uh, at one place, he arranged two Brahmins, dad and son, as if they know the future and all that stuff. So he doesn't tell anything, but takes Mukunda to them, and they started brainwashing, saying that, "No, you need to do a lot of things in the world. You don't need to go. You never reach Himalayas. You never become yogi." All that stuff they were telling, and but suddenly there was a sadhu at the doorstep and says, "Don't listen to those people." That's what he says. Mukunda gets surprised, but Brahmin people, they were saying that, "No, no, no, ignore that guy. He's not talking something, another thing." So that also fails. Then he Ananda takes him to his father, saying that, "Stay with father." That time Mukunda asked, "How did you know catch hold of me, detective?" He asked his brother, and his brother says, "No." Mukunda asked, "How did you know that I went with two other kids?" So he says that Ananta says that at your school, I found that Amar left the school but never reached home. So that is one clue. And next day I went to Amar's house, and met Amar's dad. Amar's dad also mentioned about son not coming back. One of the coachmen, friendly coachmen, said, "Oh, there were three kids in Western clothes who gave away their shoes, leather shoes, to me." So that is the third clue. And he cleverly found out that Jitendra came back home after some time. So he invites him for dinner and then takes him to cops whom he know already, just like movie style. Or it happened before movies. So they just scare him, and then Jiten confesses that I left because of fear of tigers. So Mukunda was happy that he didn't betray them for not any other reasons. He was scared of tigers. So that happens, and he goes to Calcutta, stays with father, and there he was sitting there. And father says, I will arrange a Sanskrit tutor for you. You stay here with me." That's what he says, and Mukunda agrees. So dad's plan was to keep him as long as possible and away from thinking about Himalayas and other stuff. But what happens was the teacher is Ke- Kebalananda, means Kevalananda. Uh, the teacher is Kevalananda, who is none other than a 10 years disciple of Lahiri Mahasaya. So he starts telling about his guru and the Kriya Yoga and other things, all those things. So still Mukunda is fond of going away to Himalayas. So he tells about Kevalananda tells about Kriya Yoga, and also what his guru used to tell. Uh, we win conviction of God's presence through your own joyous contact in meditation. So even Lahiri Mahasaya says, with the meditation, have a contact with whatever God or universal force. That's what he's telling. And then he narrates one story about also Ramu. Ramu is a blind man who was serving Lahari Mahasaya for a long time. So they Kevalananda and other friends ask Ramu, saying that, "Hey, are you blind in the middle or from birth?" So Ramu says, "From birth, I never saw a single light or single color in this world." That's what he says. So next day, when they go to the Lahari Mahasai, they ask Lahari Mahasai, "Please give eyesight to Ramu, please, please." Then Lahari Mahasai says, "I don't have any of that powers." But they put in a different way, saying that the infinite one within you can certainly heal. See, the God in you will can heal. So Lahari Maharaj says that if you put that way, okay, let him do what he wants. That's what he says, and he touches his forehead and asks him to chant Rama's name for 7 days, and he chants 7 days. After 7 days, vision comes to Ramu. That is one another story. So he never became a Sanskrit scholar. Kevalananda taught me a diviner syntax. Uh, he taught different things than what he was supposed to. That's what he says. That is the chapter 4. And chapter 5 is a perfume saint where he meets with a saint and who is able to give perfume like here Mukunda actually not that keenly interested in finding perfume and other stuff. So he talks with him a little bit and other things, and then that saint says, "Do you want perfume in your hand?" So the saint is too far, and Mukunda is just stretches his hand, and he says, "Which flavor you want?" And Mukunda says, "Rose." And immediately in the middle of his palm, rose scent is coming. So Mukunda's argument is, why are you doing all this stuff instead of that you can do something else? That's his argument. But the rose smell comes in his hand. Um, Then Mukunda goes and picks up one of the flower and says, "This flower doesn't have any perfume or any smell. Can you make this smell like a jasmine flower?" Yeah, he said, "Let it be," and that starts feeling jasmine smell. Mukunda takes it home and gives it to his sister to see if he might have brainwashed me. That's why I am feeling. So he takes that flower and gives it to his sister and says, "Can you smell something?" And she says, "Yeah, it's a jasmine. This flower doesn't smell like jasmine, but this flower as such, no flavor, no smell. But today it is smelling as jasmine. Did you put some perfume on it?" That's what sister asked. So that is the chapter 5, which is a perfume saint displays his wonders. Sixth chapter is the Tiger Swami, which will take longer time. We will cover next time. Okay, thank you.